Now, you'd be forgiven for feeling a little shaken this morning as Amazon takes creative control of the James Bond franchise.
I hear you cry. So what will the American firm do with our beloved, very British 007 brand? Well, to remind ourselves of the fabulousness of it so far, let's take a look at the most recent Bond, played, of course, by Daniel Craig, who, in typical action hero mode, saving the day. This time, though, he's sacrificing himself in doing it. In this emotional scene from the last movie, No Time to Die, he says goodbye to his girlfriend, while the audience says farewell to Daniel Craig as Bond.
She does have your eyes.
I know. I know.
We're now joined...
I was bawling my eyes out, by the way.
Yeah. We're now joined by former Bond girl Valerie Leon, who argues the Bond as we know it is over now the Broccoli's have given up creative control to Amazon. But founder of the British Urban Film Festival, Emmanuel Anyiam-Osigwe, believes it's good for the franchise. Anyiam, we'll come to you in a second. But Valerie, what a real honour to have you with us this morning. I mean, you know, for someone who's played such a pivotal role in 2 Bond films as a Bond girl, how does this make you feel this morning that complete creative control of the Bond franchise will now be in the hands of Amazon?
I think it's madness, absolute madness. We all enjoyed Bond as it was. Daniel Craig was killed off in No Time to Die, and I just don't understand. But, of course, money is obviously involved, and that's why Amazon have taken it over. But it'll never be the same again, ever.
Remind us of your experiences, because you were a Bond girl with Sean Connery and Roger Moore, weren't you, in both your films? What made them great Bonds? Was it their Britishness?
I think they were, in fact, the 2 best Bonds, but they were right at the beginning of the series. And yes, possibly their Britishness. They're just so memorable. And because I'm the age I am, I remember them more than the other Bonds. And I really think it's very sad that Amazon are doing this. But after Barbara Broccoli, you know, she did such a wonderful job carrying the franchise on. But life changes, and what will be, will be.
Yeah. So you were in the films Spy Who Loved Me with Roger Moore and Never Say Never Again with Sean Connery. I mean, great films. And like you say, British icons. What's the concern, do you think, though, if this comes in the hands of American writers, American producers, perhaps even an American actor playing James Bond? Where do you think the issues lie there? What would worry you?
Well, it's not a question of worrying me because life changes and everything moves on and changes. The Bond franchise was very British, and it won't be anymore. And obviously, if they make films, they won't go into the cinema. They'll probably be, I don't know. Everything's so changed now. It won't be the same. And I'm very old-fashioned anyway. So.
Well, Valerie, don't go anywhere, because there's an element of nostalgia about Bond for many people anyway. Let's see what Emmanuel thinks. I guess one of the concerns is there has been a delay, hasn't there, in announcing the next Bond actor. Lots of speculation, lots of thoughts from people about who would be good. And one of the arguments is that delay has been because of creative differences between Barbara Broccoli, who's been one of those holding the franchise, and Amazon, who bought it, actually, a while back. So the fact that they've now handed over creative direction means, well, if they weren't happy before, people are wondering, what the heck are they going to do with it? What are your concerns?
So, like you said, it's been 4 years since the last Bond film. And I think the longest that there's been between Bond films has been 6.
Certainly between announcements.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And that was always a story, like what would the name of the next film would be, who the next actor would be, and all of that. But I think, Valerie, if I can put this to you, there's nothing to worry about. I think it's such an iconic British brand, James Bond, even though it's been owned by an American company. I don't think they'll tinker with it too much. I still think they'll
What would you think if they changed it and had an American actor with an American accent? Of course, there's brilliant American actors who could do a British accent. But if they made the character American in some way, made the character female, made the character different in some way, would that make you nervous?
It would make me nervous. I think there's certain things that can be off limits. I know there's a lot of talk about Doctor Who in terms of what direction that went with the casting, etc. But I think with James Bond, it's slightly different because it's so emotional as a brand and everything behind it. I think they'll do well to kind of avoid that controversy.
But what does it say about our industry, though? This is one of our... Well, it is our biggest film franchise. One of the biggest things we've created in the world of film and television is James Bond, yet we can't hold on to it. Britain cannot hold on to it. What does that tell us? I mean, that's pretty damning, isn't it?
I think it's like Valerie said, it's a sign of the times financially. A lot of things changed after the pandemic, especially in the film and TV business, where the streamers literally took over and everyone was at home watching films, probably watching James Bond, probably. And there was a time when the only place where you could watch James Bond was on ITV. I remember watching all
Big
the
Christmas
films.
Day feature, wasn't it? Around Christmas, yeah.
I think it came out New Year's Eve. No Time to Die.
Right.
So, because I've watched every Bond film. I'm a massive Bond geek.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I don't think there's anything to worry about there.
So let's have a look at some of the official front-runners, shall we, for the new... And perhaps you'll be able to comment on this, Valerie, as well. And then you've got loads of ideas at home. So Aaron Taylor-Johnson seems to be favourite at 7-2. He's great. Josh O'Connor... 7-1. Callum Turner, 6-1. James Norton, I think he'd be cracking, actually. James Norton, 3-1. Jack Loudon, Theo James, Henry Cavill, Harris Dickinson. And then lots of viewers have got other ideas, haven't they?
They have. Let me put some of these to you, Valerie. Claire on X says Idris Elba. What do we think of Idris Elba as a potential Bond? Would you play alongside Idris?
I can't comment because I'm just so anti the franchise carrying on because Daniel Craig was killed off, Bond was killed off, and I just think the whole thing is madness starting again.
Let's ask Emmanuel.
But hang on, Valerie. We've got to... maybe you'll be persuaded by Jill's suggestion. Jill says Joe Pasquale as the next James Bond.
Tom Hardy is in there as well.
Very funny.
OK, Emmanuel. Kevin, by the way, Emmanuel, also suggests me... Bless you, Kevin. I love you. I don't know who you are. As a Bond girl, which I like, but I'm not sure there's ever been a Bond girl in Spanx. So that could be a change that alarms everybody. We did put out, actually, a survey, didn't we, to say, do you think it would change? Apparently, we've dropped that, though. Do we not want to see what people think? I think it was about 79% that said something. 80% said yes. It will be the end. Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Des would be a great James Bond.
Des, I think, would be absolutely cracking. Yeah, we'd love to see Des. Listen, we'll keep this going. Keep your ideas coming in. Speaking of a suave man in a suave suit, who needs Bond, really, when you got Richard Arnold? And he's been chatting all things BGT, haven't you?